Have you ever felt that life is too complicated? The worries, pressures, and endless thoughts feel like a tangled web, leaving you exhausted. You try to organize everything, yet the more you do, the more chaotic it seems. If you've ever felt this way, take a moment to pause, take a deep breath, and join me in discovering a simple yet powerful truth: simplicity is not just a lifestyle. It is the path to inner peace. In Buddhist teachings, simplicity does not mean giving up everything, it means letting go of what is unnecessary. The Buddha himself was once a prince surrounded by luxury, but he realized that material wealth did not bring true happiness. It was through releasing attachments, desires, and complex thoughts that he attained enlightenment. That is why Buddhism teaches that a peaceful mind does not come from having more but from shedding unnecessary burdens. But how can we simplify life? Do we have to give up everything to find peace? The answer is no. Simplifying life does not mean abandoning everything, it means choosing what truly matters. When the mind is at ease, life becomes much simpler. In today's video, we will explore the principles and methods based on the Buddha's teachings that will help you let go of unnecessary burdens. Live peacefully, and embrace every moment. And before we continue, if you find this topic valuable, take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss more insightful lessons on Buddhism and life. Your support helps spread wisdom and peace to even more people. Let's embark on this journey of living simply and mindfully together. A restless mind clouds wisdom. In life, our minds are often caught in a storm of worries, pressures, and desires. We chase after success, wealth, and external achievements, believing they will bring us happiness. But in doing so, our minds become restless, like a lake disturbed by strong winds. When the water is turbulent, it becomes impossible to see its depths. Similarly, when the mind is agitated, wisdom remains hidden beneath layers of distraction and confusion. The Buddha taught that if we seek true wisdom, we must first cultivate inner stillness. The nature of a restless mind. A restless mind is constantly moving, jumping from one thought to another without control. It is filled with attachments to the past and anxieties about the future. This continuous inner chatter prevents us from seeing reality as it is. We live in a state of reaction, allowing emotions to dictate our thoughts and actions. Anger, greed, and delusion take hold, shaping our perceptions and leading us to make poor decisions. In Buddhism, this state of mental agitation is called monkey mind, a mind that leaps from one branch to another, never still. The more we allow our thoughts to control us, the more chaotic our inner world becomes. And when the mind is in turmoil, wisdom cannot arise. True clarity comes only when we quiet the mind and observe things without distortion. Why a turbulent mind obscures wisdom? Wisdom arises from direct understanding, not from overthinking or excessive reasoning. A mind filled with desires, fears, and distractions is like a foggy mirror, it cannot reflect reality accurately. When we are consumed by cravings, we see only what we want to see. When we are overwhelmed by fear, our judgment becomes clouded. When we are caught in anger, we lose the ability to respond with compassion. The Buddha compared an unsettled mind to a glass of muddy water. If we keep stirring it, the dirt will remain suspended, making the water unclear. But if we let it sit, the dirt naturally settles, and the water becomes clear. Likewise, when we cultivate stillness, the mind becomes sharp and perceptive. Wisdom is not something we attain externally, it emerges naturally when the mind is at peace. The path to inner stillness. The Buddha taught that the key to a still mind is mindfulness and meditation. Through these practices, we train ourselves to be aware of our thoughts and emotions without being controlled by them. By observing our mind with detachment, we begin to see patterns of attachment and aversion that cause suffering. Over time, awareness itself brings transformation. Meditation, dhyana. Meditation is the most direct path to stillness. When we sit in meditation, we learn to observe the breath, sensations, and thoughts without reacting to them. With consistent practice, the mind gradually settles, and clarity emerges. The Buddha described this process as taming a wild elephant. At first, it resists, but with gentle and persistent training, it becomes calm and obedient. Letting go of attachments. Much of our mental agitation comes from attachment, clinging to desires, relationships, status, or opinions. The more we hold on to things, the more we suffer when they change or slip away. The Buddha taught that everything is impermanent. By understanding this deeply, we learn to hold things lightly, reducing the turmoil within. Living in the present moment. A restless mind is often lost in thoughts about the past or the future. We regret past mistakes, dwell on painful experiences, or anxiously anticipate what is to come. This prevents us from experiencing life fully. By practicing mindfulness, we anchor ourselves in the present, where life truly unfolds. The more present we become, the more peaceful and wise we are. Cultivating virtue, sila. A guilty conscience is another source of mental agitation. When we act unethically, our mind is disturbed by regret and fear. The Buddha emphasized the importance of ethical conduct, speaking truthfully, acting with kindness, and avoiding harm to others. When we live virtuously, our mind remains undisturbed. And wisdom arises naturally. Understanding the nature of thoughts. Thoughts are like clouds passing through the sky, they come and go. But we often mistake them for absolute truth. By developing awareness, we realize that we are not our thoughts. This understanding allows us to detach from mental noise and return to inner stillness. The fruits of a still mind. When the mind is still, wisdom blossoms effortlessly. We begin to see things as they truly are, not as our emotions or biases distort them. Decisions become clearer. Relationships improve, and inner peace replaces anxiety. A person with a calm mind responds to challenges with patience and insight, rather than reacting impulsively. The Buddha himself exemplified this state of unwavering peace. No matter the circumstances, he remained composed, radiating wisdom and compassion. His mind was like an undisturbed lake, deep, reflective, and pure. This is the state we cultivate through mindfulness and inner discipline. A restless mind is the greatest obstacle to wisdom. Just as we cannot see our reflection in turbulent waters, we cannot grasp truth with a chaotic mind. The path to clarity is not through more thinking, but through stillness. When we let go of distractions, practice mindfulness, and embrace the present, wisdom arises naturally. As the Buddha taught, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. If we train our minds in stillness, we cultivate the wisdom to navigate life with clarity and peace. The choice is ours: will we continue to let our minds be swept away by the chaos of the world? Or will we learn to still the waters and see clearly? The power of stillness. When the mind is calm, we see things as they truly are. A monk meditating in the mountains, free from worries, perceives the impermanent nature of all things. When you release negative thoughts, your mind becomes like a still, clear lake, reflecting the truth of existence. This is the moment when wisdom arises, allowing you to make insightful decisions and live a more meaningful life. In Buddhism, the restless mind is compared to turbulent waters. When agitated, the water distorts reflections, making it impossible to see clearly. Similarly, when the mind is disturbed by desires, fears, and anxieties, our perception is clouded. We act impulsively, speak without awareness, and become entangled in suffering. The Buddha taught that inner peace is the foundation of wisdom. Only in stillness can one perceive reality without distortion. Meditation is the key to cultivating stillness. By focusing on the breath, sensations, or a mantra, we train the mind to remain steady. With consistent practice, thoughts lose their grip, and mental clarity emerges. Over time, this clarity transforms into deep understanding, insight into the impermanence of life, the nature of suffering, and the path to liberation. The more still the mind becomes, the more profound the wisdom it reveals. Beyond meditation, mindfulness in daily life fosters inner peace. Walking, eating, and speaking with awareness prevents the mind from wandering into distractions. When fully present, we experience life deeply rather than being lost in regrets or worries. This presence allows us to respond to challenges with wisdom rather than react impulsively. In relationships, a calm mind nurtures compassion, patience, and genuine connection with others. The Buddha's life itself is a testament to the power of stillness. After years of ascetic struggles, he attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree through deep meditation. His wisdom was not a product of intellect alone but arose from inner tranquility. His teachings guide us to cultivate the same stillness within ourselves, leading to liberation from suffering. In modern life, distractions are endless. Notifications, deadlines, and social pressures constantly pull us in different directions. Yet, the practice of stillness remains as relevant as ever. Taking moments to pause, breathe, and observe our thoughts without attachment can bring immense clarity. The ability to remain centered amidst chaos empowers us to navigate life with grace and wisdom. Ultimately, a still mind is a wise mind. It allows us to see beyond illusions, make choices aligned with our true purpose, and experience profound peace. Through stillness, we discover that wisdom is not something external to seek but an inherent quality that arises when the mind is silent and open. In this silence, life's deepest truths unfold effortlessly, leading us to a path of true freedom and fulfillment. Methods to cultivate inner stillness. Mindful breathing. Set aside a few minutes each day to focus on your breath. Observe the inhale and exhale without trying to control it. Feel the life force within each breath and anchor yourself in the present moment. This simple practice calms the mind and reduces mental agitation. Observing thoughts. Instead of getting entangled in worries and distractions, cultivate awareness of your thoughts. Watch them as they arise and pass, like clouds drifting across the sky. Recognize that thoughts are temporary, and by not clinging to them, you create space for inner peace. Letting go of craving, anger, and delusion. The Buddha taught that desire, hatred, and ignorance are the root causes of suffering. By reducing attachment to material desires, diminishing anger, and cultivating wisdom, the mind naturally becomes more serene. The less one clings, the more clarity emerges. Meditation. This is the most direct and reliable path to inner tranquility and wisdom. Through consistent meditation, the mind becomes still, perception sharpens, and deep insight arises. Whether practicing mindfulness meditation, loving-kindness meditation, or vipassana, regular meditation leads to profound transformation. Living in the present, often, the mind is caught in the past or future, leading to unnecessary suffering. Training oneself to fully engage with the present moment fosters a deep sense of peace. When walking, be aware of each step. When eating, savor each bite. Presence is the gateway to stillness. Reducing external stimuli. Modern life is filled with noise and distractions. Taking time to retreat from excessive digital consumption, engaging in solitude, or immersing in nature can help reset the mind. The quieter the surroundings, the easier it is to cultivate inner silence. Compassion and gratitude. A heart filled with love and appreciation naturally settles the mind. Practicing kindness toward others and being grateful for life's simple blessings dissolve mental agitation. When one's heart is open, the mind follows in peaceful harmony. Through these methods, inner stillness becomes not just an occasional experience but a way of being. A quiet mind sees the truth clearly, makes wise decisions, and experiences profound peace. By integrating these practices into daily life, one gradually attains a state of unshakable serenity and wisdom. Applying wisdom in daily life. When wisdom arises, we learn to face challenges with equanimity. Instead of reacting with anger to criticism, we listen deeply and take the opportunity to learn. When faced with failure, we do not fall into despair but see it as a valuable lesson for growth. A person with wisdom not only cultivates happiness for themselves but also brings peace and harmony to those around them. By integrating wisdom into everyday situations, we develop a deeper sense of awareness and mindfulness. Instead of getting lost in emotions, we observe them with clarity. This practice allows us to break free from habitual reactions and respond with patience and understanding. For example, when dealing with difficult people, a wise person does not engage in unnecessary conflict but seeks to understand the root of the issue. They cultivate compassion, recognizing that everyone carries their own struggles and suffering. This perspective transforms interactions, reducing hostility and fostering genuine connection. Moreover, wisdom teaches us to be flexible and adaptable. Life is ever-changing, and clinging to rigid expectations only brings suffering. By embracing impermanence, we move through challenges with grace, accepting both joy and sorrow with balance. In our relationships, wisdom encourages deep listening and empathy. Instead of reacting impulsively, we take the time to truly understand others. This leads to meaningful connections and harmonious interactions, where mutual respect and understanding flourish. In decision-making, wisdom guides us to consider the long-term consequences of our actions. Instead of acting on fleeting desires, we pause to reflect on what is truly beneficial. This discernment prevents unnecessary suffering and helps us navigate life with greater ease and fulfillment. In essence, wisdom is the key to a fulfilling and meaningful life. It enables us to transcend negativity, embrace change, and foster genuine peace within ourselves and others. By applying wisdom in daily life, we create a ripple effect of harmony, making the world a kinder and more enlightened place for all. Inner stillness is not about escaping life but about understanding it more deeply. When your mind becomes as calm as a still lake, wisdom arises naturally, guiding you to live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. True clarity is found not in chasing after external desires but in quieting the inner noise that clouds perception. In Buddhism, stillness is not emptiness. It is a profound awareness that allows us to see reality as it is. When we cultivate mindfulness, let go of unnecessary worries, and embrace the present moment, we create space for wisdom to flourish. A mind free from agitation perceives truth with clarity and responds to life with balance and insight. Begin today. Practice mindfulness in your daily life. Release attachments that cause suffering. Observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. In doing so, you will discover an inner peace that no external force can shake. If you found this video meaningful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to receive more valuable insights on Buddhist wisdom and life lessons. See you in the next video.